And did somebody just hear that sound? It sounded like a ghost was dying. Adam? 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 I think there's a cicada in my room. I'm serious. I just heard something. No, like in my room. It came from like that, like over here. Don't go in that box because it's.
Yeah.
Is there a cicada?
Yeah.
Shut up.
What the fuck?
There's really a cicada in my room?
Yes.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? How the did a cicada get in my room? Oh my god. How did a cicada get in my room? Hello, darling. My name is Jen. Thank you so much for joining me today in my big little world of cruelty-free beauty. If you stick around, you'll get to see makeup reviews, skincare tips, hauls, tutorials, and more. So, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to hang out with me like all the time, be sure to subscribe. And if you really like me and you really want to chill, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload. Let's get into the video. So as I'm sure you can see, I'm doing something completely different today and kind of exactly the same and kind of different and kind of the same, but different subject matter. Sensitive subject matter. Mental health is a huge part of my story. It's a huge part of my everyday life. And I think mental health is kind of this taboo thing that is not talked about enough. I definitely am feeling like I'm seeing more and more people kind of open up about their mental health. And, you know, great, my necklace has been screwed up this whole dang time. There goes all that footage. I'm going to be talking about a major part of my life, a somewhat private, but also not. If anybody knows me, they know I am all out there. One of the reasons I actually started my channel originally was obviously for makeup, but I wanted it to go a little bit deeper than that. I kind of, I know for me that it always helps me to talk to other people who are going through the same struggles as me. I mean, pain shared is pain lessened. And when you have other people who are kind of going through similar things, like, it can help. And if I can just help one person and reach one person with my story, I mean, hey, like, what's better than that? And I think it might be therapeutic for me. So I want to talk about my mental health now. I want to start by saying I am not a professional. I am not a therapist. I'm not anything. I'm not really here to give advice. I'm here to sort of just share my story. And if anybody else wants to comment, like, I am so more than welcoming that. But just kind of want to put it out there. I'm not a mental health professional or anything. I'm just talking about my own stuff. You know what I mean? I wanted to do that while doing makeup, just to kind of spice it up a little bit. And because if not, I'll be nervous and I won't know what to do with my hands. So if I'm just sitting here talking about my craziness, I just won't know what to do with my hands. I'll literally be flinging my hands everywhere, just touching stuff and dropping stuff and plucking my face and all that stuff. So we're going to do makeup and we're going to talk about our craziness. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and prime my face. I have been using this primer and I am obsessed with it. It is so incredible. You could wear it alone. It is the Purely's Silk Glow BB Base Primer. It is an oil-free satin sheen natural glow finish. It extends makeup wear. It's for all skin types, even sensitive skin. This is what it looks like. I love this stuff. Love it as a primer. It does say that you're supposed to wear it with like the Purely's BB cream, but not doing that. So I also like to apply it with like this little thingy. It's like a little, I don't know what it's called, but you know, a little patting device, a smudging cloth. I've got a lot of stuff, okay? So I do have some notes because I wanted to stick to the things I wanted to talk about. Otherwise, I will sit here and tell you my entire life story, and this will be a 12.5-hour video. So we're going to start with the OCD, my obsessive compulsive disorder. Yes, I have been diagnosed with OCD. Oh, that is a huge part of my story, and anybody who has OCD will know exactly what I am talking about, how much it can impact your life. It kind of started like the first time I ever moved out, and I moved out of my house pretty early in life. I was, like 16, almost 17, something like that. And as soon as I moved out, I'm going to put a little tiny bit more because this does absorb some of the product. And you could just do this with your fingers, but I'm using my smudging device. I really never had issues with my OCD, and it was like as soon as I moved out, I kind of had my own space. I had one bedroom where I was living. It just like hit me out of nowhere. I felt obsessive about everything being exactly where it was supposed to be. I do not fear germs at all. I just like, it has to be visually clean, if that makes sense. Like I'm not worried about the germs. I'm worried about the stuff I can see. Things being out of place, things being dirty because I can physically see the dirt, if that makes sense. So I'm actually going to use the Morphe, I always forget the name of this foundation, Filter Effect Soft Focus. This is a medium to full coverage foundation, and this is in the shade Filter Light 3. So I don't really want, like now that it's summer and it's getting hot, I don't really want like a super full coverage. I'd rather like a little bit more of a sheer coverage. So I am actually going to use my beauty blender. This is a Beauty Junkies blender, a Beauty Junkies beauty blender I got off of Amazon, and I just like it, the shape, because I can get in all the spots, you know. So anyway, everything had to be organized. I was constantly like vacuuming and mopping. And another thing that I was very obsessive about was like my finances, like knowing where every penny was. I had to check my bank account every day. Like I was just like obsessive about just money, that there was like an even amount of dollars and cents in my account. It was weird. It was like very sudden and confusing. So as the years went on, and as I like kind of moved from house to house and grew up and whatnot, it changed, you know. It was always just the cleanliness. So that's how it started. As I got older, really, I'm gonna talk about, I guess, like the most recent, because it's changed so many times. I can't even go through all of it with you, like all the things, all the stages I've been through with the OCD. But I will say that, you know, some things that I used to be OCD about, I'm not about anymore, and vice versa. But I will say that as the years have gone on, it has certainly gotten a lot worse. And then a lot better. It's kind of up and down, and it definitely is dependent upon my anxiety. Anxiety sort of triggers, like, I guess, the obsessions, you know? Like some days my anxiety is worse, and so my OCD is worse. So as the years have gone on, I started noticing that I wasn't just obsessing about, you know, the finances and the like organization anymore. It definitely grew into other things. And one of the other things that changed, that's like pretty significant, is like numbers and counting, like doing things a certain amount of times. Like when I leave the house, I have to check the door. I have to like wiggle it 3 times to the left, 3 times to the right, and then like hold my, this is so embarrassing, by the way. I'm just going to take a pause and just say, And I think anybody who has OCD will agree that out of every mental health issue, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for anyone else, this is the hardest thing to talk about because it is weird. It is very hard to understand and it is illogical. So I just want to put it out there. I know this makes no sense. I know there is no reason to do this. However, OCD comes from anxiety, and these OCDs, these obsessions and these compulsions revolve around like a fear. Like, if I don't do this, this will happen. And everybody has different reasons for it. So like, if I don't do this, my big thing is fire. Like, if I don't check the oven 5 times, the house will burn down. If I don't check that my door is locked 5 times over, somebody will break in and they'll burn the house down. It's totally illogical. It makes no sense. I know that. But I feel like before it was just making sure everything was clean and organized. And then over the years, it grew and it grew and it turned into rituals. You know, I used to not have like rituals. I used to just have obsessions. And I do want to mention that my OCD is diagnosed obsessive compulsive disorder. I have been diagnosed that. I know that is a word that is or a term that's kind of thrown around somewhat freely, like, oh, I'm so OCD. Do I have my OCD? I am clinically diagnosed. So I just want to put that out there. I used to be like super obsessive about the cleanliness and organization, about every inch in my house, every closet, every drawer, everything had its place. Like, everything had to be perfectly organized. Everything had a spot. I mean, if there was one thing out of a drawer that was moved or missing, oh my God, like, it would hurt my stomach. And not like that anymore. I have junk drawers. I have junk drawers today, okay? I am so proud of myself. So that's what I mean. Like, it changes. But now, like, I'm obsessive about checking the door and making sure the refrigerator is shut 3 times. And I have to like put my 2 fingers on each handle and like push 3 times and then 1 time. I know. Makes no sense. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually do my eye base. I am going to set my eyes, and I'm also going to actually put a little bit of this on my under eye area to try to help prevent the creasing. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, but this is the anti-aging. So this is like the hydrating version. So like, speaking of rituals, I do have some like things, like, other than just counting. I have to, like, my kitchen and bathroom, I'm like the most OCD about those 2 areas. So everything, like, you will never find a dish in my sink. Never, ever. Actually, I'm just gonna pat this in first. Like, you will literally never, ever find any dishes in my sink. My kitchen must be spotless. It cannot be cluttered. Same with my bathroom. I have to clean my bathroom mirror every single day. Like, that mirror, it has to be spotless. And same with like the kitchen sink and the toilet. Like, they must be spotless. I don't necessarily clean those every day. Probably every other day, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of OCD about like my floors being clean. Okay, maybe really OCD. I vacuum probably, I would say, every 2 to 3 days. So I'm just putting a little bit of the primer potion down here. But it's like therapeutic. I swear, it's like I vacuum and I just feel less anxiety. And that's the thing, is that you obsess because you have anxiety, and then the rituals or the compulsions are a way to relieve that anxiety. And like, when you're leaving your house and you're doing all your things with your doorknobs or whatever, or you go back in to check or whatever it is you're doing, the way I describe it is, I feel like I am tied to my house with like a chain, like I'm chained there. And there's like a code that you have to put to get this like chain unhooked so that you can leave. And you have to retype the code over and over and over again. That's like your OCD doing these rituals. And you don't know like when that code is going to like release that lock. That's what's weird, is like, you can do your rituals and over again, and it just doesn't feel right. It's almost like this checkbox that goes off in your head. You're like, oh, okay, that time it was right. I can go now. And some days you have to twist it 4 times. Some days you have to twist the doorknob 3 times, I don't know. It's weird. I can't explain it. I just know that's what I go through, at least for me. Yeah. So that is kind of, I would say, a good summary of kind of what I go through. I mean, honestly, there's so much more to it, but that's, I think, all I'm going to get into with the OCD in this video. I am going to do my concealer. I'm using, as always, my favorite, the Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy in the shade, I always forget, 20B Light. Now, I'm going to, with this, I just don't want it to get cakey. So I'm just going to sort of dot it just to make sure I don't get too much. And then I'm going to just put some up here. I do have some hyperpigmentation up here. Then I also get a ton of redness down here. I've kind of had it my whole life. So I'm just going to sort of do that. A little on my chin and on my nose. Okay. And those are the areas that I want to conceal. And I'm just going to blend that all in. So I sort of want to drag this up a little bit just to sort of lift my eye. Since I have such downturned hooded eyes. I might actually need a little bit more in this area because my under eye circles are really bad right now. I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep. This actually brings me into my next topic. The wonderful, wonderful world of anxiety. So great. So moving along into the big beast that I like to refer to as anxiety. I've actually never called it that before. I just said that right now. One thing I can't stand about me, myself, and I, is the endless cycle of what ifs and dwelling. What ifs and dwelling and mind racing and that, that friggin' hamster wheel that goes off in your head all day long. Yeah, that guy, that's what I'm talking about. But really quick before that, I want to try the Covergirl Clean Fresh Powder that everybody raves about. This is in the shade 120 Fair. By the way, this is the cutest packaging ever. It has this little mirror and this is the Fair. They do have translucent and other shades. I actually I like Covergirl. I haven't tried them in a long time, but I grew up on Covergirl. That was my jam, man. Covergirl, that was my shit. So I was happy to try this. When everyone was raving about it, I was better not steer me wrong, Covergirl. So I am just going to set my eyelids and my under eye area because I'm going to be using some cream products today. So I'm not going to put a lot, okay? I'm not going to do it. I always use too much and I will not do that today. I'm going to just dip into the pan, a tiny bit, and just kind of set the under eye with my blender. And I'm going to blend out my eyelid a little bit because I'm getting some creasing up there. I know it might look like I'm using a lot, but I'm seriously not. I'm like barely tapping in. Okay, that actually blended it out like much, much better than the brush. Way better. All right, I'm feeling confident about this powder, guys. And like, what's cuter than like friggin' pink packaging? Come on, so adorable. I love it. It's so cute. I actually have another powder that I'm going to try when we're done with our cream products. So I picked up the little Kaja Play Bento, the little trio guy, like the cutest little nugget of makeup ever. And this is the shades 01, the however you want to refer to it, the light guy. This is the light one. So this comes with a really, really, really beautiful little powder blush. It almost has like some gold glittery reflect in it with a cute little mirror. And then it comes with, they're such a freaking pain in the neck to open. No, if I break a dang nail opening this damn highlighter, I'm going to be pissed. Well, this is the cream bronzer. It is a little warm for me, and I was a little bit nervous I wouldn't like it. Surprisingly, I actually really liked it. I didn't think I would like something that warm toned. I usually go for more. We're not going to open the highlighter right now. I will figure it out. I'm going to have to go get like a freaking wrench. Just wrench open things. Screwdriver maybe. I don't know what opens things. We're going to worry about that later. When we get to highlighter, we'll worry about that. And then, since we only have our cream bronzer in here, I want to use some cream blush. So I'm going to be using this Milani blush. This is in the shade 120 Coral Crush Cheek Kiss. I am obsessed with this blush. It is freaking gorgeous. And then I have some powder bronzer. I'm just going to sort of, I'm going to kind of contour with this, and then I'm going to bronze up a little bit with my Milani Silky Matte. Obviously, this is like an OG. This is not new, but it's just like one of my favorites, and it's drugstore, and it's Milani. So I figured like Kaja and Milani. Do the whole balancing thing here. I'm stupid. Just ignore me. Just ignore me. You know, part of the anxiety and crap that I deal with is I definitely very often feel like my life is like out of control. It actually led to an eating disorder. I think it was a mixture of needing control in my life. It was a mixture of, you know, really low self-esteem, self-doubt, very little, you know, self-worth, and the just desire to be perfect. Okay, the next thing is the next step is going to be my Milani. It is freaking perfect. I love this blush. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Do I want to use my fingers or a brush? Oh God. I don't know. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'm going to use a brush. I had my first, I would say, battle with eating disorders pretty young. Someone in school was like kind of bullying me for being overweight, and I just had just a lot of stuff going on at home, and just all kinds of stuff happening in my life. And I felt I was depressed, I was anxious, I just had so much just crap. And so I just like remember just like severely restricting my calories, like at first, like that was the kind of the first thing that then turned into feeling guilty every time I put anything in my mouth, even if it was like an apple. I mean, I just felt absolutely freaking horrible about myself. Yeah. So it was a very tough time. And then, by the way, I'm just going to sort of take my blush actually like across my nose a little bit. I'm just kind of, I just want it to look like I've been sun-kissed. Like, I've been out in the sun all day, and so I'm trying to make it kind of have like a natural flow of like where the sun would naturally hit. I want to look like flushed / mildly sunburnt. I definitely believe that like anxiety, OCD, eating disorders, ADHD, depression, all that stuff, it all stems back to like kind of the same core issues. We've got issues. Everybody has issues, you know? And like, I do want to say that if anybody out there is struggling with their mental health and doesn't want to go to therapy because they've been to bad therapists, I promise you, keep pushing forward. Like, I truly cannot imagine if I hadn't. I have the most incredible therapist. I wouldn't change her, wouldn't trade her for the world. She is amazing. It took me like 20 therapists to get to her. By the way, I'm going to go in with the little Bento guy. We've all got shit mixed up there. I promise you we do. We really do. I'm going to now go in with my Milani bronzer, and I'm just going to cool this face down a little bit. That made no sense, but it made sense in my head, okay? Now this is just cooler toned, and I just want to make it so that it's not so orangey and just kind of get this all nice and blended. Okay, now that we are all chiseled and snatched and sun-kissed, we are going to finish with our powdery powders. I don't know what the hell I just did with my hands. So I am going to, I don't want to use a lot of powder because I don't want to get like cakey and gross, but I'm going to use the Covergirl Clean Fresh, and I'm just going to sort of clean up this bottom area down here. And actually, I'm going to go back in with my sponge, and I'm going to dip it back in the powder. And I'm not going to bake, but I am just going to sort of place the powder down here just to sort of give that clear definition between where my bronzer and blush is, just so that I have that area nice and brightened, especially since I personally have so much redness down there. So now, if I can ever get this freaking, I just got the highlighter open like it was nothing. This is the highlighter. It is really pretty. I'm just gonna dip my Morphe M501. I'm trying to make it so that it's not like, you know, just a stripe of highlighter. Kind of bring it up here a little bit. Can you see it? I mean, you like don't even like need much of this highlighter in order to get it to like show up. It's so gorgeous. I seriously love it. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my blush brush, and I'm actually just going to sort of reblend a little bit, like I said, just so I don't get such a harsh line. And that is it. Our base is done. I'm so excited. So I'm going to spray my setting spray. That, ladies and gents, is how you do it. Yep. So anyway, I am going to go throw my eyebrows on my face. I'm actually waiting for new brow products to come in. I am going to be uploading an eyebrow like short with the current products that I have, but I'm excited for my new products. I'm going to do a video on them. Anyway, my eyebrows just take me forever, so I'm going to go do them off camera. We're going to come back and do our eyes, and we're going to finish up our little mental health pep talk. Alrighty, I am back, and I am going to sort of wrap this thing up with a very quick, easy, neutral, everyday, just get out the door, tired, lazy, whatever the excuse may be, eye look. That kind of eye look. I am actually going to be using this palette. It is the e.l.f. The New Classics palette. I was like cleaning out my makeup, and I had this like at the bottom of a drawer, and I don't know why. It is an amazing, affordable palette. Like, seriously, look at it. It's freaking awesome. It's got all the neutrals that you could need, but you could also do a really fun, awesome, colorful eye look with it, you know? So that is what we're going to use. I'm actually going to go in with the shade Blanc. I'm taking the Morphe M441. It's just a, like, fluffy crease eye brush. Crease, whatever, blending brush, crease brush, whatever the heck, just a fluffy brush. But anyway, moral of the story is that, yeah, I've sort of been through it, and like I continue to go through it, and I really just like I said, I just want to sort of open the door to like anybody who is just like in need of someone to talk to, or just to sort of let people know that, like, if you are going through anything similar to what I've been through, like, you're not alone, and there are more of us out there. There are. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in on my Sigma E38 brush, and I'm gonna go in with the shade Truffle, so just like a neutrally nude. I just know that going through any kind of mental illness can be a lonely place. It can be a lonely place. It can be a sad place. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for anybody. Nobody should have to go it alone. Then I'm just going to go in with a blending brush with nothing on it and just sort of diffuse that out, blend it out a little bit, schmutz it all over the place, you know, just schmutz it. Okay, and then I'm just going to take like a flatter like shader brush. This actually has like a little sort of point to it, and I'm going to go in with that white cream color, and I'm just going to sort of highlight my brow bone. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in with the Sigma E25 blending brush. It's like a flatter blending brush. And I am going to take this purpley color Charmer, and I'm going to sort of get that in my crease, but I'm also going to be bringing it like down on my lid as well. Seriously though, for like a drugstore palette, these are such pigmented colors. Like, they really are. So now I'm going to take my Morphe M139, and I'm going to dip back into Truffle, so that first shade, and I'm just going to sort of go over this Charmer shade just to sort of diffuse out those lines, make sure everything's nice and blended. And then again, I'm going over all of that with just my big fluffy brush that has nothing on it. Okay, and then just to tap it all off, I'm going to do some white eyeliner on my waterline, on my bottom waterline. I found this new freaking mascara. It was like $3. So it's this from Essence. It's a Get Big Lashes Volume Boost. Just saw it at CVS. Oh my God, it is in freaking sane. I have also been using, was it canola? I feel like it's canola. I think it's canola. Whatever that stuff is you put on your eyelashes to make them grow. My eyelashes have legit doubled in size, especially my freaking bottom lashes. They are crazy, crazy long. So that is the full look, and that is my life story, and I know everything there is to know. Just kidding. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. Again, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to leave it in the comments if you have any questions or you need someone to talk to. You can reach out to me on Instagram. Same thing, JLaurenGlow. You can DM me. I would be more than happy to chat with you. So I just want to thank you again for being here and for watching my video. You know, if you want this to be like a mental health series, let me know. I'd be happy to make it one. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.